Welcome to the Vision with Technology Easy Publish training, the online editor. The online editor is the place where you'll spend the majority of your time when you're working as an editor within Easy Publish. So it makes sense for us to really master this as a tool. So what do we mean? What do we want to do? Well, we want to make our content shine. So let's have a look at some of the content we've got up here. So within this page here, which is in training, Welcome to Easy Publish Training, we have Welcome to Easy Publish Training, the summary text for training. This is where the main body text goes. Pretty uninspiring stuff. So let's jazz this up a little bit. What we want to do is flip to our administration interface, find the page, and then click on Edit. What this will do is it will take us into the actual page itself, and then we can start changing some of the information within there. Right now we're not interested in the name or the short name, we're just interested in these blue boxes here which contain the online editor. So let's have a look at what these are. We've got a top bar along the top here which contains all of the tools that are available. We'll quickly flip through them. We've got bold, italic, bullets, numbered bullets, left align, right align, undo, redo, link, break link, anchor, image, insert an object, insert custom tag, insert literal tag, insert special character, insert a table, all the table modifications, a really nice preview, and then we've got our help. Down the bottom here we then have some context sensitive elements, and we have an absolutely wonderful feature down the bottom here that means we can shrink or we can grow our text area. So the first thing we want to do is we want to replace this text with something that's probably a little bit more interesting. So let's go and highlight it and delete it. Now it's actually going to work pretty similar to a word processor, but with some limitations, and that is your site may not have all of the features that are available with the online editor, and this is always an issue, is that the online editor can have millions of different combinations of bold, bullets, tables with images in them, and then links on tables and different types of classes. So you just need to check to make sure that the elements you can do, you should be doing. But if you have a browse or if you have a look at the front end, you'll easily find the bits that do and don't work. So let's just cut and paste that information in here. As you can see, it's taken the information and it has changed its format. When we had it in the online editor here, the notepad, we could see it's all nicely scrunched together. When we actually brought it into the online editor, it looked very different, and this can be because there's some characters that are hidden within various, say, MS Word or OpenOffice or Notepad or etc., which it may look a certain way, but when the online editor gets it, it really will flip it around a little bit. So for us to understand, is this the real look, or is it something different, we want to go down to the bottom and we just want to click Store Draft. What this forces Easy Publish to do is to store it, look at it, understand it, and then display it back to us. And you'll generally find that it will actually change its look and feel very slightly. So let's wait for that to happen. Okay, so we now have this back. So our first job is to tidy this up a little bit. We need to delete, oh, hello. Okay, so we've got it back. And as we've noticed, that it has very much changed it. It's taken all that about those double spaces that were in there. But we still need to tidy it up a little bit. So what we need to do is we just need to delete some of these items here to actually make them on the same line, because it looks like there's some line feeds that have been in there. And once we have that, we're going to have our 2 paragraphs of text the way we want them. And again, if you're cutting and pasting from a Word document, you'll generally have to do this. So now we've got our information in a nice format. We could publish that and we could have a look and see what that looks like. So if we go in, hit send for publishing, have a look at the front end, hit refresh. And there's our information in there. You'll notice that summary text is still appearing, but we've got all of our information with the main look. Let's flip back to the back-end interface again, and let's go in and start changing that. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each and every feature within the online editor to make this page maybe not shine, but at least it will actually have every single tool within that. So let's have a look at the tools that we can use within the online editor. Within the top here, it looks like we've got elements like a paragraph. So this is where we would want to choose things like headings, maybe heading 1, heading 2. So if we would have said, let's say download me, we could then highlight that text, go to the tool, we can choose paragraph, literal, heading 1, all the way down to 6. In this situation I'm going to use heading 1. What that will do is it will change the size of the actual text. Now it looks different to us in the admin editor, but it will actually look different based on your site, based on your design at the front end. We can then change things like bold, we can italicize items, and what we can do is we can start then entering in any forms of lists. So let's just grab some lists from here. Let's paste them in. You'll notice that we need to put a carriage line refeed, hit enter just after the end of each one. Then what we do is we just hit ordered list, unordered list, which will just put dots there. If we put ordered list, then it will put 1, 2, 3, 4. And it works just as in the way you'd expect. If I put line 2A, then what that will do is it will just add in a 3 there. So it's a nice way for us to have our ordered lists working. If we wanted to indent or outdent items, we can out indent here and we can outdent there as well. Now if we want to undo, again we've got the ability here to undo and to redo, so if you've got any changes within there. And then what we have is we then have the other items at the top here, which are more specific than these ones. These elements are standard word processing tools. Now we're going to look at links. So we're going to flip straight back into our article, and we're in the article. What we're going to do is we're going to look at several different types of links. Our first scenario is I really want thousands to link to, say, the Vision with Technology site. In that situation I come up to insert link at the top here, I click the button, and I'm faced with several options. As you can see from the drop down, we've got things like EasyNode, EasyObject, FTP file, HTTPS, MAL. Generally you'll only be using EasyObject, HTTP and MAL. What we're going to do first of all is we're just going to go and use HTTP. So we're going to go www.visionwt.com, and as it's going to an external, you can either choose to have it as an open in a new window, or if you're friendly to those browser readers, then for people who maybe don't have as good eyesight as you, then you'll just leave it as default. And as you can see, if we have a look here, it's now created a link in there. Well, that's great, but what happens if I wanted to create a link to a page within your current site, and you want to do this in such a way that it never breaks? Well, the easy way to do that is to use a thing called EasyObject, and EasyObject, all it means is it means that it's going to link through to a page within the site by its reference number. Every page that you create within EasyPublish is assigned a unique ID, and that unique ID is what we're using here, which means you can change its name, you could move it around, you could add locations to it, and it would always find the base article, which is a really powerful thing. Now we've also got some options here. So we've got search, browse, and we've got bookmarks. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all select the browse. This brings up a list of the site. So in here you've got home, media, setup and users and design. Generally you only use home and media. So say we wanted to select one of the say other documents within this folder. So I've got professional workshops, so I'm going to select that. What you can see is it's converted professional workshops into a number 86. All we can do now is we just hit OK, and what that will do is it will now put a link in there. So what's that going to look like? Let's publish the content and find out. If we have a look at the top here and hit refresh, we can see that we now have a link here which links to the Vision website, and we have another link that links internally. So if we click on that, we should be able to find that we go straight through to one of the other events pages. The really powerful thing about this is if I were to move professional workshops to somewhere else, we'd still be able to link to it, and the link will never break. Very, very powerful feature. So let's now take a look at some other elements in here that we can do with linking. So let's come back to our page, click edit, and now let's have a look through and see what other links we can do. Maybe I wanted to have the option here is to mail me. What we can do there is I can highlight, go back up to our link, from the drop down list select mail, and then I can select, say, Tony at visionwt.com. There we go. Hit OK, and what that's done is it's now changed that into a link, which will then go through, when you publish that, straight to the site. Click on there, fire up their browser, and then you get lots and lots of emails, or spam, as the case may be. So what else can we do with this link? Well, if we go into here, say when I was doing the Easy Object, I wasn't able to find the document, or maybe it's somewhere else. I don't know where it is. I'm not sure where it is. I may want to do a search for, say, training, and hit search. What that means is it's going to do a search through the entire system for anything with the word training in it. So here's Leon Encourages Talent. I could select that and it would highlight it. I hit OK and that link goes in there. So what this means is you don't have to know where a particular folder is or a particular article is for you to link to it. Obviously on a large site your search may have to become a little bit more refined, but it means that you can either browse, search, or actually do a mail to link to any piece of content. This is really, really powerful stuff. So from a link point of view, what we're going to do is we may come back to links because I'd like to link on images later on, but essentially that's your links. Let's look at our images. So maybe I want to add an image to this. So I've got download my file at the top there. Maybe I want just before this text here, I want a nice download image. Okay, so what would I do? I would first of all position my cursor where I wanted the image to go, and then select insert image. Now generally your images will be within your system within the media folder, and if that's the case, all you need to do is come up here, hit browse, click on media, fly down to your images folder, and then you've got your images. And if you roll over here you can actually see the preview, which is a nice neat feature. So I can just select this. Or what could happen is maybe I've got a bookmark already. I tend to bookmark the pages I'm going to go to a lot of the times, so I'll bookmark the image folder. Just saves a little bit of time. I then click on download me. I can then choose the type of view that I want to have on here. So I've got view, which is embed. I'm actually going to have no type of class on this. I'm going to align it left because I want it to be the left hand side of the screen. As you can see, it lets you know what's left and what's right. It's always useful for me. And then we've got some other switches in here that we're not going to look at right now. So if I then go through to OK, what that's going to do is it's going to take the image and it's going to pop it into the actual page itself. So let's have a quick look and see what that looks like on the main site. So let's just publish that. And then what we'll do is we'll flip to the main front page and we're going to hit refresh. As you can see, the image has now appeared on the left hand side. Doesn't that look great? So now, wouldn't it be great if when you clicked on the Easy Publish 4 you actually linked to, say, easy.no to download the file? So let's try that now. Let's flip over. So let's go back to our page, and what I'm going to do is a quick trick here. I'm going to click on the actual folder icon here and then click on edit. It's just faster than reloading the page and then going through and seeing it. Okay, so we've now got our image here. What I can do is click on the actual image and then come up to link in exactly the same way as we did before. I'm then going to select HTTP. I'm just going to go to easy.no click OK. And now what that's done is it's actually put a link onto that location to easy.no. So it's as easy as that to link to files. So maybe now what I want to do is I actually want to take another image, but maybe it isn't in the system itself. So let's go down to the bottom because I want to add the image in. Select insert image. And now what I want to do, notice it said these images are already within the system. I then want to upload a new one. So I want to choose file. I've got an IE file there, which I'm going to open. And now it's asking me where do I want to actually put this file. Do I want to put it in the automatic, just place it in, and this automatic will actually place it in the image folder. Do I want to place it below my current article or folder, or do I want to put it into the images folder? Well, there's some strategies here. If you want to put it below your current folder, that is a useful thing if this image isn't going to be used by anybody else. So if it's an image, say that's I know a chart for your particular article, it's unlikely somebody else is going to want that chart, so I'd pop it just underneath the Welcome to Easy Publish Training. However, if it's something that's going to be used by everybody, or could be, then pop it into images. The name, we're going to call this IE image, and alternative text to make sure you got there, so this is going to be IE logo, and then any caption. Now what we're going to do is just going to go and upload the file. Dependent on the actual file itself, it may take a short period of time or a long period of time for it to upload. Once it's done, you then get a whole bunch of information. So we've got the size, do we want it small? Do we want it tiny? Or do we want it to be large? So I'm just going to say here, we're just going to take the large one. You want your specific view. Normally embeds the only one that's been configured, but you want to talk to your administrators to find out which views you can use. This is useful if you've say got two types of a view for an image may put a border around it. Another type may say, okay, I only want to view this as a large situation. You could pretty much do anything here. And then what we want to do is we want to select this to none. And then our alignment, we're just going to pop it to the right hand side. Then we're going to click OK. Oh, it doesn't look so good there, so I want to change it. So if you want to change a location of an image, you need to just select it, come down to the bottom here, and it will be the last item. And then what that will do is it will bring up the information. So I now actually want to change this to left. Going to click OK, and it's moved it to left. Again, maybe I don't like the location of this particular image. If I want to, I could drag and drop it. However, I want to get it to the top here, just before Easy Publish, but I can't see it. Neat feature that you can do now is you can come to the right hand side and just drag down your page and have a good look at it. If that isn't enough, you can also go to the top here, click on full screen, and it'll actually take you to a completely full screen editing, so your content is the only thing you see. Then what you can do is you can click on this item, drag it up to the top, let go, and it's pulled it in. Of course that's misaligned some of the other items, which means you just need to add some carriage returns in there, pop it back to small screen, which means we're back to where we are, and then what we can do is come down to the bottom and we can publish. Now we've published, let's have a look and see what it's going to look like at the front end. And there we go, our images have been moved around. We've got our nice IE image there, we've got our Easy Publish 4 image which has got a link on it, and we've also got our mail me information there. That's it, that is your images. So in this situation, maybe I want to add a folder or a list of items to the site. So in this situation we would insert an object. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down, we're going to edit. In the old days these used to be called paperclips because it pops a paperclip into the side there. But what we want to do is we want to create something that maybe has a list of news items, say, on our actual page. So to separate the content, say my news. Let's change that paragraph style to heading 1. And then what we want to do is come up to the paperclip, and click Insert. Now there's various options that you're going to get here. The one that we're going to select is we're going to go for Browse, we're going to go for Company, and then we're going to select News. And what that does is it will then select the piece of information that you want to go, and I want to have a specific folder view. Maybe if I hadn't got the right piece of information, you can always get back to it by going Switch to Embed Object View. You can then refine the information, so you could come to Browse, go into Company, and then maybe select something else. But I specifically want the news item. Then I've got various views and various ways to customize the look of this. I can embed inline. We're going to just look at embed. And then I've got different ways to look at it. Do I want it to be in a list format, which is generally itemized sub-items? List the whole lot, subtree. Do I want to have one particular item, so it's one article itself, or do I want it to be listed vertically or horizontally? Well, I actually want it to be listed vertically. I'm going to click OK, and what that's done is it's then said the paperclip, the news, it's spread across the page because it gives you an understanding that this is going to take up a lot of space, and then send for publishing. Now that it's published, let's see what it looks like on the front end. As we can see down here, here we go, we've got all our news items listed one on top of each other. Now that's okay. Maybe what I wanted to do is I want to go in and have them listed vertically, say. I would then flip back to here, go into my location, find the location or the item I was looking at, so I just highlight, I should see the list appear down the bottom, and I can just come up, change to horizontally, click OK, flip to the bottom, send it for publishing, then take a quick look. If we have a look down the bottom here as the page loads, we can see that now we're going from right to left, sorry, left to right, all the way across the page, and we've got our news items in the format we want them. This means that you can use this with folders. You can change the look of this, so you can get your maybe one of your developers or administrators to go in and change the look of this, add multiple classes. So it's really something that you can tune to your site and the way you want it to work. So now we move on to tables. Tables are always great fun, because they're a great way not only of tabularizing information such as data, but you also can use them for lining up images. Take for example our top IE element here. Let's just get this into view. We could use a table to make this a little bit better. Maybe we don't like the spacing or something like that. So let's go in and let's pop a table here. You'll notice it's on the top side here at the right hand side. All these elements are greyed out until you insert a table. When the table pops up, you have the option to do rows or columns, and this kind of neat thing where you can go in and select how many you want. So what we're going to do is we're literally, for our instance right now, we're just going to have a two cell table. We are going to have one row, no border, and we're just going to pop that in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our IE image here and we're going to pop that into the text. We're going to copy our main text, pop it into the cell which is shrunk up there, and now that what that's done is it's created, put it into the table and nicely spaced it. Now maybe if we wanted to add some rows to this table, we could come up to the top here and we could insert a column after, we could delete a row, we can insert a row. So maybe what we do is if we select our image there and we insert a column after. Here we go. Then what I could do is maybe put some spacing in, or maybe I could put some more words in. So let's have a quick look, see what that looks like. So let's go down and publish it. And then we can have a look at the front end and see what the front end looks like. So as we can see, it's positioned the IE logo a little bit better by that, but maybe what we wanted to do is we wanted to add a row and put the Easy Publish 4 into the same row. So what we'd do is we'd come in, edit our article or our folder. And then at that point we'd want to add another row to the bottom of this table. So we're going to say let us insert a row after. We can drag our image in and take our text and just remove that, pop it in, just to tidy up some of these spaces so they're not messy. There we go. What it's done is it's obviously grown the actual table width to the actual size of the image. I mean, you can go in later on and customize the actual table with some of the extra elements, but we won't go through that right now. We'll just look at it for images, and let's publish that and see what it looks like. Then let's have a look at it at the front end. Let's do refresh, and there we go. So what we've done is we've been able to take our two images, line up the text on the right hand side, and it just tidies things up a little bit. Obviously you'd use two images of the same size, but what it shows is you can use tables to effectively line images, content, information that you might want. And obviously you can use tables for what they're intended for, but it appears nobody wants to use them for, which is for information. So let's go in and let's just enter some information within there. So we'll wait for the page to load, and let's just have some fun with this table, and let's just put some gobbledygook in it. Okay, so if I go in and select insert, and let's just make a table, I don't know, quite wide. You can have it 100% width, or you may say, you know what, I don't want it going all the way across the page, and you could have it 90%, and then we could put a border. And of course you could style it if you wanted to, and there's various default styles, but of course you can get your style changed. So I actually quite like the timetable one. It's one of my favourites. And then we can just enter in XXX, YYY, ZZZ. Let's quickly enter that in, and let's publish that and see what it looks like at the front end. As we can see now at the front end, we've got our table, we've got some styling on here, which means when I roll over it changes the way it looks, etc. So that means that we've created something which could have just been a boring table into something that looks great. And what we can do now is you could go in and change the table header, each cell could have specific styles, but generally this gives you a great overview of the actual table itself. Great, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at some of the... let's edit that. We're going to have a look at anchors. Anchors are very useful. My page has got quite long right now, and when I have a look at it at the front end, to get all the way down to the news, it's just too much. I want my users to have a nice quick way to go down and then download. So let's flip down here. First of all, we want to create our anchor. So let's find some text that we want the anchor to go next to, and we're going to say news. We come up, click on the anchor, and we are going to give it an imaginative name, news. Click OK. You'll notice a small anchor has appeared right next to the news. Then what we're going to do is, for us, we are going to fling right to the top here, and we are going to say news anchor imaginatively, and we're going to create a link. But this link is going to be different from the other links we're doing, because we're not going to give it a page externally. We're just going to type in here, and we're just going to type in hash news, and we're going to click OK. What that's done is it's created a link, but we actually don't want it to go to another page. We're going to go down the page. So let's scroll down, send that for publishing, and let's see what that looks like at the front end. Now, if you have a look here, we've created our news anchor link. If we were to scroll down manually, nothing to be seen, but what I can do now is I can come here, click on news anchor, and it will fling me right to the bottom. So in that situation, if you've got a long piece of text that maybe you weren't expecting to be so long, you can start putting some anchors to enable content to go through. Or generally what would happen is if all your pages are very long, you might want to put it back to the top in there, and it's your call whether you have short or long pages based on your users. Now we're almost there. We've always got a couple of extra features that we're going to have a look at. So say we wanted a special feature within our page, say a quote or a fact box, say. In this situation, what we do is we'd use a custom tag. So if we click on Insert Custom Tag, and as we can see from the selection, you have quote, strike, sub, separators, etc. We're going to select fact box. You can name it, so we could say my information, or you could call it fact box. Click OK. Then select the information. You could say this is the great training page. And that's it. Literally what that will do is it will customize it at the front end when we hit send for publishing, and it will create a great page. Let's have a look at that. And there we go, right at the front end we've now got our fact box. And that could either be a quote, but you can customize it or treat it and change it in the way you want. So literally that's it. We've gone through virtually all of the tools within the online editor, and hopefully this has given you a good starting point in your journey with the online editor. Obviously it can be customized, there's going to be updates that come along. We will in the future cover additional elements like cutting and pasting, say from MS Office or from OpenOffice, but this should enable you to go in and have at least the basics of content editing skill. And I look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you very much, and happy editing.